Good morning, everybody. I'm over here, by the way. Yeah? Invisible. You can't see me. Look! There I am. Yeah. Hi. So it hasn't been a good chessing couple of days. Slipped under 1500 in Rapid. But we're going to do a Rapid game. We'll do a 1510. I'm going to try and slow it right down. I've just been blundering. Simple as that. I've been missing stuff. So the remedy for that is to slow your ass down. Right, so we're going again for the Goering Gambit. We'll see what happens. Now you can find yourself in Petrov territory with this. There's always ways that your opponent can try to derail your plans in any opening. There's no opening where you get it all your own way. And this is what we find. Even like at every level, it's just that what you find at the highest level. So when you see, Caruana, Carlsen, Neiman, these guys, when you see them play in matches, their preparation's different. So whereas my preparation aims to get my opponent out of his comfort zone on in the first 3 moves, they're looking 9 or 10 moves down because they only play at the very highest level. If you play dubious openings, then you should expect to get punished because your opponent knows how to punish a dubious opening. And this has all been studied very deeply with engines and stuff like that. So I'm playing Mr. Harkson, looks like from Iceland. Okay, so this is something I'm already out of my stuff. So this is a Scotch game. He's kind of declined the central pawn. Now I know that pretty much black really does need to take the central pawn. Now, so I'm going to treat this as though we're doing a lesson like I had yesterday. Really, really awesome young student. We've now had 2 lessons. Amazing how somebody so young can just look at a board and go, Oh, that's fantastic. Anyway, back to the problem in hand. So, what is the problem? And I don't mean problem as in this is something to get upset about or down about. The problem is, see it like you've been set a maths test, right? There is a problem that you need to solve. You need to find what is the correct solution to this thing. And every position on a chessboard will present you with certain factors. Right. And this is what I try and get students to understand and the way that I try and get them to think. So, opponent has just played pawn to f6. Now, what does that mean? It means they're supporting this. This pawn was attacked twice, and it is now defended twice. Okay, these are just the facts. Let's write them all up on the board. Okay, they've moved the pawn there. That does block the queen's emergence into the board, but then those 2 squares are covered anyway. It also annoys this knight slightly from coming into its natural square on f6. It is also not a developing move. Anytime you move the c pawns or the f pawns, then you are not doing anything to help a bishop to get out on the board because those pawns aren't in the way of a bishop. So in terms of development, it's unhelpful. Now, it also permits the playing of pawn d4 to d5. And in general, so this is another really important thing to remember, there are lots and lots and lots of principles in chess. None of them is concrete. Right? But in general, like control the center, develop your minor pieces, knights before bishops, kingside before queenside, get a rook on an open file, castle your king, blah, blah, so many, there's 1,000. Control the square in front of a isolated queen's pawn, for example. If you want to look up Bruce Pandolfini's 64 commandments of chess, so that's just 64 of them in one place. Okay, so, one idea. If you can advance a pawn in the center with tempo and hit a piece, then it's in general a good idea. Now, if we were to play this, okay, he moves his knight back, that's not bad for us. If he moves his knight here or here, we could even come after him again. If he moves his knight here, we could take, and win a pawn. I'm going to play that move, partly because I've just spent 2.5 minutes talking to you. But something about this move told me that there had to be something dubious, otherwise you would see it more. I never see this move in the Scotch. So we haven't gone down the Goering line. This is Goering declined. Goering gambit would be he takes, we offer a second pawn, he takes. And then the full Goering be bring your bishop out, offer the third pawn, like in the full Danish. So here we have an issue. Now, if he goes there, it simply takes, 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 and then he loses a pawn. What's more, I've got both 2 pawns in the centre, and he's only, all the way home. He's gone wee, all the way home. My instinct is to develop this knight to c3. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with an instinct. Now, he does have good control over the dark squares here. I cannot develop my DSB to any of these squares because of all that pawnage. So, that is vexing. But it's just a statement of fact, you know. Between us, we have created this situation. So what are the factors? I have a piece out in the board. He doesn't. I have 2 pieces in the centre of the board. So, sorry, 2 pawns. He has 1, right? He has an awkwardness here of having moved the f-pawn, which you should never do. Oh, goodness me, no. So, what do I want to do? I want to get castled, probably. I don't know which way he's going to castle. Even at this stage, we're on move 4. I don't know which way he's going to go. Sometimes you get a good idea. You know, for example, in the Sicilian, if they play pawn to c5 on move 1, you can be fairly confident they're not going to go long and put their king on the c-file, for example. Am I thinking about pawn breaks later on in the game? Not really yet. I think I'm just going to develop my knight, but develop my knight, bishop comes out to pin. I kick, he decides to take. I don't mind. Do I want to push a3 to prevent things like that? I don't know. We already have 1 locked file as well. So it's a bit of a kind of awkward situation. I could just play like bishop d2. It's kind of weird, but... I mean, do I want to fianchetto this bishop? No. Because he's already got that. I'd be biting on ground. I'm going to play bishop d2, just for giggles. Now, I could have done this, and then if he does this, then play bishop d2 as well. That's also an idea. So what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to just try and use... apply 1 more layer of thinkery. To steal a march on my opponent. Now, b4 is a thought. Okay, well, first of all, what's happened? Bishop's come out into the board. Black is 1 stage closer to castling, although his knight is maybe arguably suboptimal. In fact, maybe I could have left my bishop there, so if his knight ever came to h6, I could just snatch it off. I mean, why use a tempo for this? What is the purpose of this move? I don't know. Well, one thing it does do is it does support pawn to b4. And he's not going to take here, and he's not going to go there. He could go here, but then again, similar problem. I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it. I know it's kind of funky, but it is a tempo move. So I'm not exactly wasting time. Now, if he does this, I even have c4, c5 ideas. Just really grabbing all the space. Like getting proper imperial on his ass. The more you tighten your grip, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. I'm not going to ask you to name the film, but c4, c5 is a thought here. Now, but then you have to say, okay, if I push c4, he's going to know what's coming. He ain't a fool. He pushes this. For example, or he pushes this. Nothing lost. Again, it's kind of a tempo move. It's all kind of coming down to this. This timid move, move 3? Allowed this. And it's like white is now grabbing all of this space on this side of the board, right? I'm really staking my claim on here. I probably want to develop my bishop, get my king castled. But right now he's got problems because he needs to, well, he's got to prevent the move c5. or he's got to prevent the move c5 from being effective, which means he's going to have to move a pawn. He cannot. I mean, yeah, he could put his bishop there. And it gets taken off. That's interesting. Okay, I now have the option of capturing towards the centre. We will have bishop takes. Or, what about the move b5? b5, he can come here, but this pawn, remember, is locked. It can't proceed. So b5, I mean, maybe an a4 later. I don't know. I mean, this is proper Space Invader stuff. But if I take and take, if I do this, he can come here with check. If I go here, he takes, I take towards the centre. I kind of like. It does improve his bishop though, but does this just really just neuter his bishop? Avoiding this exchange of pawns. Although it is a capture towards the centre. Let's do it as an exercise in massive space grabbing. I do feel like the Emperor Palpatine. I'm grabbing all the space. Now, I mean, look, this is, I'm breaking so many principles here, but this is kind of the point of what we started talking about, which is that all principles, like, I keep saying it in the words of Morpheus, you know, talking about the rules within the matrix. Some rules can be bent, other rules can be broken. I'm breaking a bunch of rules here, but what I am doing is I'm getting all the space. Right? This knight now can't get out. This rook can't get out because everything is still undeveloped on the queen side. This bishop can't get out because he hasn't moved on either of these pawns. This is move 8. You can complete development in 8 moves. Right? This knight is already impeded. It's going to struggle to go there safely because I could take it out and open up the g-file. Right? Everything, the queen, everything is struggling. Now, when you have such a lack of space as this, there is another principle. The player who is struggling for space, who is suffocating, wants to trade off material as much as possible. So I think actually a good move here for black could be this. Try and trade off. And if I take, he brings out his queen with check, so we don't want that. And, okay, so now his bishop can get out, but he can't go there, or there. This is madness. This is an absolute skull crusher. Okay, so thinking a4. Now a4, a5, he just comes here. And it really is just taking the mickey, isn't it? Quite honestly. I'm inclined to put my bishop on one of these squares. Maybe it's e2. Maybe it's e2, short castle. Think about an f4 pawn break at some point. Where's he going to put his king? I mean, if he goes queenside, I'm definitely doing an a pawn break. So let's just do this. Let's get castled, right? I'm down to 8 minutes. Now here, if he takes knight 8 back, I hang my rook. If he takes knight 8 back here, it's not too bad. I could play a4, he takes, I take back. But do I need to play a4? Because he takes, I take back. There's nothing then attacking the b5 square, so it's just castle. We need to move a bit quicker now. But my job really here is to squeeze the life out of the position. Okay. Now he really wants to get his king safe. That's fine. I get it. Okay. My thoughts now turn to this knight, but here I think that makes sense. Gives me the option. If he takes here, I can take back with a knight, keeping my pawn closer to the center. Take back with a knight. You never know. I mean, I'd love to drop a knight to there, something like that. But having said that, I don't want to give him any opportunity to swap off this bishop. I really do think actually he still should be thinking about bishop a5 and just trading off. Look how bad this bishop is, right? Look at all his own pawns. Locked, locked, locked. We got three locked files on the board, right? There's nothing happening here. Nobody is moving. And a bishops cannot get through. There ain't no bishop in the world that can get through. It doesn't matter who you are. With these pawns in this position, bishops can't get through. In fact, knights really can't get through either. So this is like an immovable object. Le Massif Central in the middle of the country. Right? We have a mountain range that you cannot pass. You have to go around. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we'll have to go through it. Okay. Now he has two attackers on here. Oh, not there, there. I have two defenders, pawn and knight, and bishop. So I'm as yet unconcerned. My thoughts turn again to the knight on f3. I could throw in this move, but I think I'm going to do that. Thinking how to get this knight involved in the attack. Now we do have h4, f5 as an idea. We have h4, maybe pawn f4 as an idea. Takes is a thought. And now he's finally played the move that I thought he should play. Okay. Takes. That still just loses a piece. I'm going to do this now. And the reason is, if he takes with a6, I have a4. And I don't hang my rook for two reasons. One is I've moved my bishop off the back rank and connected my queen on my rook. That's one thing. If my queen moves, I still have my other rook there, which is even better. The other thing is he's put his bishop here now. So if now taketh. Actually, he pins his own bishop doing that. So you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that, son. If I was black now, I would trade off. Because his bishop is bad. Look at all these, right? This bishop is rubbish. This knight, however, could duck and dive and twist and turn its way somewhere horrible into this position. So I think you'd be a fool not to trade off there. In fact, with that in mind, I may even get my knight the hell out of there and try and trade off my dark squared bishop for his dark squared bishop. I mean, my dark squared bishop does have some scope, as in it's controlling some squares, but it's controlling three of those squares it can't even visit without being taken off the board, right? But as we know, pawn structures change. It's the one thing you know about pawn structures. What on earth is the point of that move? Okay, I'm going to try and trade off. I'm going to play a bit quicker now. He's down to 9.5 minutes. He ain't got nothing. Right, so off come the dark squared bishops, right? I want to re-centralize my knight at some point. All good, all good. And you see, suddenly, things change. The board has changed. And what we need to do is we need to prepare ourselves for things like that to happen. Okay. Queen taking knight doesn't bother me at all. I'm inclined to play something like this. And try and prove that his queen is actually misplaced on that side of the board. If at any point I move my knight, his queen is in trouble, but do you see what else? The queen cannot move to defend the rook. So now if I do this, where's that queen going? I'll tell you where she's going to go. She's going to go up here and then smack bang. Oh no, my rook. You see? Because he didn't think about that, did he? He thought about, do you know what? I'm lacking in space. I would love to trade queens. Wouldn't that be great? Well, yes, it would, but I don't have to trade queens. And the problem with putting your queen here is my rook is defended because my rooks are paired. Yours aren't, because you haven't developed, have you? I can move my knight to a safe square from here, skewering queen and rook. But he didn't think that far ahead. I think you've got the same problem. Knight c3 is still defended by my queen. Your queen is still en prise. So what he now has to do is actually trade. He has to trade his queen for two rooks, which ain't the end of the world. I didn't actually think that through. If my rook had been defended twice, that would have been another matter. Okay, so he's +1 now because queen's worth nominal 9 and rooks are worth 5 each. Okay? However, his rooks are still unconnected, his king is still uncastled. Yeah. So you can see there that there was a point at which my thinking stopped as well. Okay, this knight. Okay, he wants to get castled. I want to prove that this bishop is bad, but my bishop is also equally bad. Maybe it's an issue with this knight again now. It's by no means clear. And I feel like my advantage of having all that space on this side of the board has somewhat evaporated. But what we do have is we have an open A file, which is currently controlled by black. Now I could try and get my queen over, but I also have no rooks. So this takes some thought. I wonder if I need to be pressing up again. I need to stop the knight coming in here, maybe. Something like this. Yeah. I'm on 7:20, he's on just under 9 minutes. Not worried about this rook on its own. I'm not worried about this knight coming forwards. This knight can't actually move right now. So he needs to castle. He needs to move his bishop, probably. And where's his bishop going to go? Well, backwards. It's a slight issue. You come up to this knight, it can't go there. I think. Interesting. So it'd be interesting to look at the swing in the eval on this. You see, there he goes. And now I can just press on. I mean, putting my pawns on light squares, it's going to make life hard for this bishop. But now, you see, okay, now he's had to move his knight backwards, yet again. Now I could maybe think about this. Okay, let's have a think. How can I improve my bishop? This looks like the diagonal, doesn't it? So I really want to move my knight. Do I want to move it here? I don't think so. I think this bishop here has to be the natural spiritual home for the light square bishop. And suddenly, because we're in front of our own light square pawns, well, that looks like a bit of a one-move-itis, doesn't it? So you know he's got to go all the way back. He's got no other safe square. He's got to go back to A1, and then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do this with check. $7.26. Okay. If I take, he's got knight takes. That then helps his cause. If I come here, he's got bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Pawn here, bishop takes. I've got a bit of a battery there. I don't know. Can I come after his rook? Well, no, I've got a present danger because this bishop is here. If he takes, I end up here and then rook here, but I'm not bothered because I just come back. Could even try and put my queen here at some point and try and control the whole back rank and just get that rook out of my stuff. Yeah, he couldn't allow me in there. And again, you know, my thinking cut short there. So I'm going to do that for now. For want of a better idea. And this really is the difference, you know, between 800s, 900s, 1000s, 1100s is the level of thinking. Cooper. Stop it. It's not whether you're capable of seeing. I mean, some of it is, you know, some of it's experience, it's pattern recognition, whatever. But a big part of it is just where do you stop your thinking? Okay. And I feel like he's done a good job, actually, at frustrating my my advantage. It's kind of diluted it. All right, interesting. Now he takes. If he takes, I have knight takes, which I quite like. Now, what if I harass this rook? He can't go there, 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 or there. If he comes here, I come there. If he comes here, I come here. So he has got these squares, but I don't know. I have this as well, though, don't I? That puts a third attacker on this pawn. Let's say queen here. Then he's kind of got this as well, though, hasn't he? Oh, no, he hasn't. Not with my queen there. Let's try it. I'm attacking this knight that's undefended. So he can't take the pawn. So what's he going to do? Defend the knight? He's got 3 ways to do that. That doesn't work. Right? Or does he move the knight? Well, I think he moves the knight, and it can't move there. And it can't move there. So what's he going to do? Move his knight onto the back rank? Seriously? In terms of prime real estate for knights, that is not up there. I can then take this pawn with pawn or knight. Probably knight. Because we like to get knights close to kings. We had this on our lesson yesterday. Not our video, but we had a conversation about improving pieces and what improves a knight. Well, improves a knight. Knights like to be in the centre of the board. In fact, well, it's kind of here, and then orange and almost like red, you know. Knights get really strong in this area of the board. And they love to be in the centre as well. Rooks, open files. Makes sense. Bishops, clear diagonals. Same difference. Okay, so he's defended it with the rook. I see. Here, if knight takes, rook can't take, and I do have a threat of this. Rook has to come back. How do I improve this knight? I take the pawn. I have 3 attackers on this pawn. I win the pawn. I take there. Rook can't move because of this. I take there. He kicks my queen. My queen comes back. I'm taking with a knight. I don't know if it's right, but I'm taking with the knight. Now I've got 2 attackers on the knight. What do you do now? Huh? The rook cannot move, but rook can't move because it's mate. I'm also attacking this pawn. Oh, hello. Okay, I think is that the only thing that solves his issues? Well, I'm not sure about this one. Again, check with the rook. I just drop back. And I'm threatening this. He has to drop his rook back. I win this pawn, yes? See, his rooks are powerful, but his rooks are more powerful when they are connected to each other and on an open board. Okay. And now this comes with tempo again. Now he has to move his rook, and he hasn't got any checks. He goes here or here. He loses his rook and loses the game. I am threatening this. Force is this, I believe. I don't think there's any other legal move. And then I win another pawn, and then I'm attacking 2 more pawns. He can't come here to attack my knight, because queen takes. I might play this move. I might play my king to here as well. Okay. Alright, I'm attacking this. I'm attacking this. I'm attacking this, but it is defended. And being from -1, I'm now +1. I can take this pawn and defend the knight. But if I take this pawn, he does this, so I just take the rook and win. I may still yet move the knight. I reserve the right to move the knight. I have a check here. I'm still attacking the knight. See, facts, 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 facts. Keep stating the facts. If we throw in a check, we undefend the knight. I feel like I want to move my knight, and I feel like I want to move it here where it defends the backwards pawn, yeah? I feel like something like this, and even shove the king right in the middle of that mess of pawns. I'm now +2, so I've gone from -1 to +2. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns, and he's down to 4. And his pawns are starting to collapse. Here, I do have the check. If I have the check, he can block with either rook now as well. I might do this move. He can't go here or here right now. But I feel, again, my instinct says bring in the knight, you know. Control some important squares. And defend this pawn. Multi-purpose moves. This rook is the only defender of this knight. The knight is not currently under attack because my knight's in the way. This is my hunch now as well. Look, you see I've... Oh, okay. Hello. Duh. Duh, duh, duh. Duh, 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 duh. Am I afraid of this rook coming back down here and checking me? I am not. He attacks the queen. Interesting. I come here. Do I not pin the knight? I come here, that's a check. Rook can't block, because remember we improved this knight. I think the king now has to move. And look, 5 minutes 20. Loads of time. We spent all that time talking and thinking, but paid off. I think we're okay. Also now his rook is out of scope. I mean, he's got one kind of check, but I could move my king around here. My thought is whether I want to come and bust through with these pawns, and I think, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now he has this. I can just drop down, can't I? I can't push forward because everything's controlling that. I feel like it has to be this pawn. Now he checks me. Okay. Now if I push here, he can have this pawn. But I'm then threatening this, am I not? Here. Takes. Here. I have this. Doesn't look good, does it, for black? Can't go there because he's attacking it twice. If this knight moves, by the way, I'm also hitting this pawn here. This is my hunch. Let's say knight takes, and I come in here with... No, it just wins the knight. Come on. Think, Harkson. Okay, so now he's resorting to what has he got now. I could actually head for the e-file. And the reason is, he hasn't got the check on there because of my knight. And my queen, actually. I even have a check here, potentially. King in, queen in. It has to go there. Knight here. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let's just do this. If he does this, I have this. And then he can't go with that rook to e3. And he can't play that. But there may be a nice checkmating sequence here. Check. Let's say he goes here, queen here. King here, because he can't go in the corner because of the knight. Then the knight comes back and grabs the pawn. This pawn's pinned by my queen. It's all going horribly wrong for Harkson. Then I go here and this isn't playable. Alright, my hunch is I have time. Why do I do this? Okay, let's think this through. Check. If he takes, he loses. My king can definitely escape round, something. Okay? So that's not playable. He comes here. That's what he would do. So do I need to play king e5? He still doesn't have this. Hang on. King e5 check is mate. Oh no, it's not. Knight here. Ooh. So is it f6? f6. He takes, I take. I don't know. What's the way to do this? Takes. Maybe allow him to do this and then I just move back down into the board? I reckon. Because I think this is just too strong. But we are opening up spaces. I like the fact that I control that. Right, I'm expecting now rook e1 check. And I'm expecting to start zigzagging towards the rook. This is, again, defended, so we're happy. All this stuff is defended. The knight itself is not defended. But that's okay, because it's kind of shielded by the pawns from this rook that's coming in from the rear. And there's something about this game as well, isn't there? There's about finding joy and appreciation in the next level of thinking. This is something that I've really got from my over-the-board successes recently. I had two good wins. There we go. And I just don't think I have to worry about this. I think we're okay. He comes here, I can come here. This pawn is technically undefended, but I might even let him take that pawn, and then I do this. Double check. King has to take the pawn or else it's mate, because the knight guards that. Right? So I do something like this. Let him take the pawn. Right? Check. King has to take. Queen comes in. King in the corner. That doesn't really help. That's still double check. Okay. Now. Got to tread carefully. There's a lot of rooks around. Check here with that. If he takes, it's all over, because I'm a rook for a queen. Check. I like it. I could have figured that. I've got 3 minutes on the clock. Okay. And now. Push the pawn up. I mean, no. Just going to say I could even sack my queen for a... Where do I want my knight? I want my knight like here. But that's a long way away for a knight. 1, 2, 3 even. That might even be good. I mean, that's a good square. Provides cover. It blocks an open file. I think this. Hit the rook. Covers this square too. See if I can ever just squeeze my queen in there somehow. It does undefend this pawn. But he's definitely fighting. Another thought is to drop the queen back and harass this rook away. Remember that my queen's the only defender of that. Okay, here. He comes here. My knight's still guarding this square, thankfully. Okay. Now. I have a rook fork. But he can get out of it with check. But I have a rook fork. He gets out of it with check. I come here. And I'm still attacking both rooks, right? I think what he had to do there was take the pawn. He should have took the pawn, attacking the queen. Then I have this, which still wins a rook, I think. But he did not do that. He played his move in 4 seconds flat. And now he's got 2 rooks under attack. He can't attack my queen without being taken. He can't attack my king without being taken. Okay, and we have 2.5 minutes. And this is the other thing that I'm really enjoying, this evil feeling of saying, well, I've got many ways, many different orders in which I can pull off your legs. So this is... Okay, and he just resigns. Don't blame him. Okay, let's have a quick review, because I think that was a fascinating game. I feel like he definitely missed some advantages, but ooh, happy about that. Very happy about 81 accuracy. Makes me happy. Now this mistake. It's okay. Right, it doesn't like it. Yeah, just developing. I'm getting this a lot, but 1 mistake, 2 misses. This was the first miss. It wanted to trade queens. Well, I did not at that point in time. Where's my next miss? I don't know, but it's given me 1650 for that, and I will take that. That was an enjoyable game. It was a good win. We had a really good advantage from here. And yeah, mate in 14. And I can't find the next miss in the list. But yeah, take that all day long. That was good. That is what we have to do to get back to 1500 and then off to the lofty heights of 1600 and beyond. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Appreciate your support. Also, by the way, if anyone would like some chess lessons, there's a link in the description. You can now get 3 chess lessons for $69 instead of $29 each, so you save a bit of cash that way. And it all helps me out. I've also got a donation link if you want to just throw me a tip as well. Or if you want to do a training game and have one of your games against me on the channel as well. So you can do that for just $10. So book an hour slot sometime. We'll play a game against each other and post it online so that everyone can learn together. So yeah, do appreciate all your support. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.